Welcome to the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man. Brought to you by Friend Entertainment USA, producing the best concerts for charities and corporations for over 30 years. And CBMS Consulting Services, control your business before it controls you. In association with Area 22 Productions, your multimedia streaming network. Now, here is Darren and the Music Man.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another segment of the Business Power Hour with starring Darren and the Music Man. Good evening, Darren. Starring.
Wow, I
You're
got elevated, huh?
Well, yeah.
Well, starring you too, then.
Well, okay.
So it's just starring both of
So
us.
it's both of us.
So where's, you know
And
what?
we have.
I asked you last week, where
What?
is your fancy jackets?
I'll wear one next week.
All right?
Yeah, because we have a special guest next week.
We got a very special guest this week, too.
Yes, we do.
You know, so how are you feeling today? You feeling better? So-so?
I'm feeling so-so.
All right.
I'm feeling so-so.
Every day is a little bit, you make a little
Every
bit more
day is a
progress.
little bit better. It was a long day today. A lot of doctor visits and stuff that we had to do. So we did that. We got out of the way. And then, of course, we have our show.
We have our show tonight.
We got to have our show.
You can't miss it. You're a trooper.
And we have a very special guest. You want to introduce our guest?
We got a great
Paisan?
guest tonight. Paisan. He's a
Paisan.
paisan.
He's a paisan.
Right? Not only that, here's the best part about this guy.
Go for it.
He cooks.
He cooks?
He cooks.
You mean he's a chef?
He's a chef, yes.
Oh, my.
Yes.
Holy moly, you're a chef?
He's a chef. So I want to introduce Chris LaVecchia. He's a private chef right here from Long Island. Okay, and welcome, Chris. Thanks for being on the show tonight.
Where do they keep you? Since you're
Locked
private.
up in a cage somewhere.
So, Chris, you know, I read your story, and tonight we really didn't have a lot of time to prep before the show. So this is all going to be, you know, as we go.
I'm hungry, by the way.
He's always hungry.
No, I'm not, but I'm hungry now.
He promised to buy me lunch last week, and he never did.
Yeah, because all right, tomorrow
And I
I'll
think
buy you lunch.
you know what it was? I think it was he was waiting for you to come in, and that was the thing.
Okay.
But why don't you start with your question?
My famous question?
Start with your famous
All right, listen,
question.
okay, here we go.
Because that's very apropos to
Right
start
here.
with.
Right here. You got me?
I
Okay,
got you.
we've done this before.
Yeah.
Years ago, when you were a kid, and you were out in the summertime or whatever it was, and you were playing with your friends, whatever games you were playing, you didn't think about being a chef.
No, I can't say that I have.
Okay. What did you think about being?
I don't know. I mean, when I was little, I just wanted to play hockey, and
Do you still play?
every once in a while, I try to. You know, when I have time. I probably haven't played in about 2 years.
So you were one of those kids that were getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning because you couldn't get ice time.
Yeah, my dad would drive me at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning in New York City, at Chelsea Piers, and
Oh yeah.
Rye Playland, and because getting ice time is it's not the easiest thing in the world. So it's usually off hours. Between 1 and 6 in the morning.
So that's a hard life.
Yeah,
That's
it was
a
not.
tough life.
Like I started off playing in the street. I probably started skating when I was in 2nd grade, and then started playing in travel teams and organized hockey. And then I played through high school, and
You played for your high school team?
yeah, I played junior varsity and varsity.
Okay.
And then in my college days was kind of just doing like adult leagues and stuff like that. Yeah.
So you didn't play college hockey,
No.
right? Okay, so you got to college. What did you originally go to college for? Because I know it wasn't cooking.
I went to, when I was in high school, I was taking bookkeeping. It was like introduction to accounting, but I was always good at math. And, so I did really good in bookkeeping in high school, and then I took that as my major in college. So I started off as an accounting major, but then like halfway through, I just didn't see myself doing that. And then I was also a musician my whole life, so I was taking music classes.
What'd you play?
I started with piano, I played clarinet, trombone, all the nerdy instruments. And then as I got older, I started playing like cooler
So
instruments.
we got
like,
the music connection here too.
so I started playing electric guitar and the drums and all that stuff. And so I started, I grew up in a family, in an Italian family. And Sunday dinners were all about getting family together, the holidays, Christmas.
So you had the
all that.
traditional.
Yeah.
I grew up in an Italian family too, right?
The Sunday
so
sauce.
Sunday afternoons.
We don't call it gravy.
No,
No.
right. So Sunday afternoons, right?
Yeah.
You always spent with the family. You'd
Yeah.
eat dinner 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
2 o'clock in the afternoon
Right,
on Sunday.
yeah, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday.
Yeah.
We'd have dinner. We'd take a
Everyone
break
always
and then
asks,
we go
why
back.
do you guys have dinner so early on
Yeah.
Sundays? I don't know. We just do that. We
It's
go to
just
grandma's
it's
house.
your tradition to bring the whole
It's just-
family
that's
together.
what we did, yeah.
We got to yell and scream at each other, and
Yeah.
we got to do all that stuff. So was that what got you interested in cooking? Were you
Well, that's
helping
where I
out?
started cooking because the families were. My grandmother had 10 brothers and sisters, so we had
Right.
quite a
So my
rather
father
large-
came from a family of 12
yeah.
kids.
So the holidays was a big family get together. So I would always help my mom prepare and cook and do baking and different stuff like that. And it was just always something that I did. And then as I got older, I started helping out more and doing more cooking. And then so when I was in college, I kind of had a gap year to figure out what the hell do I want to do with my life. Let me figure out this. I don't want to waste my time and money and all this tuition. So, excuse me. So one day, I'm still living at home with my parents. I was about 22, 23, 24. I get a brochure in the mail for the Culinary Academy of Long Island, which is where I wound up going. So my mom showed me, hey, why don't you check this out? You always like to cook. So I took a tour of the school, checked it out. I was like, what, this seems really fun. So I did it. It was a 1-year, 900-hour course with an internship.
That's reasonable.
Yeah. So it was, we jumped right in. We were like 25 hours a week in the kitchen.
So was it when you first started doing it? Because I know we had this conversation before. When you first started doing it, was it what you thought it was going to be, working in a kitchen?
After I graduated, no. Because it's definitely a lot different than cooking a Sunday dinner. It's
called real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's long hours and weekends, but I was always in like the event industry, so I knew I gave up my weekends a long time ago, so that wasn't a problem. But yeah, it's definitely a lot different. Very fast paced, multitasking. You got to be able to do 100 things at once. And,
Right.
And,
It's
and
go,
execute
go,
it.
go,
And
go.
it's all about time management. You have to manage everything and make sure things get done.
So after you finished school, right? So now you do this 900-hour course, right? You get your
$900 class.
No, 900 hours.
That's what I
900
said,
hours.
900 hours.
Yeah.
So with an internship after the.
With an internship, right? You get a job. All right.
Well, I didn't get jobs right away, but.
Okay. So what did you? Okay, you said, okay, this is going to be my career. How did you get from school to becoming a private chef? And let's talk about what is a private chef for those of us who
Well, what
don't
kind
know.
of chefs were you
Well, that's
before
what-
you became, or
well,
on your
well,
way to?
well,
I
a
mean,
private
I've
chef?
done it all. I washed dishes. I was a prep cook, line cook. Pretty much worked all the different stations of the kitchen. From just prepping different stuff to just working on the line, orders coming in, and then after a while, I was always kind of working on the weekends. I was always doing events, and I've been in the hospitality industry pretty much my whole life, so I was always in like the event and hospitality industry. And then after when I first graduated, I still kind of had like a full-time weekend thing.
Okay.
And in the beginning, I was looking
And
for
what
more
were you,
stuff.
what were you doing on the weekends?
I was working for entertainment companies, production companies, doing like lighting and staging and
Putting
different
events together.
music. Yeah,
Right.
putting events together, just doing the back end of it, like the
Okay.
production work that nobody sees.
Yeah, I
setting
know
up-
that part.
This
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah,
This
setting
stuff.
up the lights and
Yeah.
TVs and sound systems and everything, and then doing parties, whatever. So, I kind of was already established doing that, and then going back to you don't realize, hey, it's both a weekend thing. So I was looking for more stuff during the week. So I was doing a lot of freelance corporate like events in the city on like a Tuesday night. Or
you never really did I'm working in this restaurant.
Not in the beginning. Eventually, probably around, I graduated in 2005. Probably I didn't get a job in a restaurant probably till about 2007.
Okay.
And long story short, I knew somebody that knew somebody. I had a really good hookup. I was able to have Monday through Thursday in a busy restaurant, and then have weekends off, and go do my own thing. So I was doing that for about 4 or 5 years, and then it was just kind of going nonstop. I was going 7 days a week. It was just working. So eventually I took a break from the cooking, but then about 2 years ago, I wanted to get back into it because I love to cook.
Right.
So, at first I wanted to get into a restaurant, but then they would say, well, we need you, Fridays and Saturdays, and so I already had like an event company going.
So you're still doing the event stuff?
Yeah, but now it's like I'm booked for either one or the other because it's they book me in advance, and so if I have a wedding or something like a year from now, I'll know the date, and then with these private dinners, it's more like a couple weeks in advance.
Okay,
or
so
like a month or two.
how did you come up with the idea to do the private dinners?
Well, because I couldn't commit to a restaurant fully, I just over probably about 6 months to a year of hitting that same brick wall of hey, I can't do it full time, and just give up everything and just go head on. So eventually, actually one day, one of my neighbors showed me this thing in the paper for kind of a personal chef service, and she was like, "Oh, do you still cook? And is it something that you'd be interested in?" And so I looked at it, and instantly I said, "That's it. Like I'm gonna
Do you
become
only
a private
do
chef."
2 people, or can you do
No,
4
so
or 6?
I'll start. People ask me what's the minimum people, and I'll do a romantic dinner for 2. From Monday through Thursday, I'll do a nice romantic dinner for 2, husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, birthday, anniversary. They just want to do a date night, Valentine's Day. So that's during the week, and then on the weekends I do larger parties. For 6, 12, 15, however many your dining room can hold.
So where did you? Okay, so now this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
How do you find your clientele?
So in the beginning, I'd say the first year was just, building a brand, getting logos and marketing stuff, and just going to a lot of networking groups. And that's where I kind of...
That's where we met.
Yeah, that's where I met Norman. And
that's where everybody meets Norman.
Yeah.
That's where everybody meets.
Yeah, so, you start going to networking, and then, you could go to so many different networking groups, but then eventually you start to see the same people at different ones, and then you kind of... Okay, I like this group, I like this people, and you become friends with people, and then you build relationships with people, and then they start referring you. So in the beginning, I was getting a lot of work that way.
Right.
I was also doing a lot of, back when I was at one of the restaurants I worked at, I would do the executive chef. He was part of this group called the ACF, which is basically like a fraternity of chefs nationwide, and then they have different chapters. So he was doing a lot of like food shows and competitions. So I kind of he was like my mentor, so to speak.
So,
and
kind of showing off your skills.
Right, so just going, fundraisers, but like food competitions, just challenging. So I would do a lot of fundraisers and just charity events through that. So when I started getting back into this, I contacted, because eventually I was the one coordinating all this stuff. So I reached out to a couple contacts, hey, I used to do this when I was at the restaurant. I'm not there anymore, but I'm doing this private chef. Because I don't have a restaurant where people could come and just sample food.
Right.
So these shows
most
for
chefs
me
are like
right. So these shows for me is my way of being out. People meeting me, seeing my personality, loving
me ask
the
you a
food.
question,
tasting
Chris.
some of your foods.
Yeah, because I'm always doing.
You do all
tastings.
kinds of food.
Yeah, so I specialize.
Do you
in,
have a menu?
Well, we're going to get to the menu in a second.
Yeah.
What I want to do right now is, Chris, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, because we actually got somebody in New Jersey going. Does he travel in New Jersey?
Absolutely.
All right. So John, yes, he'll come to your house if you can squeeze that nickel out of your pocket to do it. That's my cousin. All right. So just to let you know, we have a big family. So,
yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So how do they get a hold of you, Chris? Where
So you
can they do
can,
that?
well, first and foremost,
And
you can go to
Steve,
my.
if you can put that graphic up.
You could go to my website, which is chefchrislavecchia.com, which is spelled, Chef Chris, and then LaVecchia is LaVecchia. That's chefchrislavecchia.com, which has links to my Facebook, my Instagram. It has my email and my phone number there, and you can call me there. And then, they just put it up there. So, and then my number is 516-306-5411. That's my direct line. So you can either email or call or text.
And if you reach out to Chris, just let him know that you saw him on the Business Power Hour. All right.
Now let's go back to the question that I wanted to ask.
Now go back to his question.
Okay. There are different people that want different food.
Yeah.
When you do a party, not everybody eats the same thing. People are vegetarian. People are not. People, what's the grain?
Vegan.
Vegan.
Right.
Vegan is a big trend right now.
All right.
Right.
Even if they
Do
don't
you
know what it is.
combine everything? Do you obviously you ask for first?
Yeah, so the way my service works is first and foremost, we pick the date, we go over, how many people you're having, what's the special occasion, all the minor details, and then right off the bat, does anyone have any food allergies, special dietary needs, and then once I find out how many people, then I give them this intake form, which now you can even fill it out right on the website.
I saw that. I was on your website today, and you actually have a sample menu.
I do have a sample menu, which is from some dinners that I've done.
Right.
But going back to the intake form, it pretty much just goes into detail. I like this, I don't like that, I don't like
So we're not
mushroom.
limited by this sample menu.
Yeah, these
right?
are just some examples of
Some
dinners.
examples
yeah,
of
it even
types of
says,
stuff
I think, these are just some examples.
Well, the
but
question
we'll
is,
customize your menu.
How do you get the ducks to smoke?
You just,
Oh, you got to feed them the cigars and the cigarettes beforehand? Is that how
Well,
it works?
when Chris was with us,
you just put them in a room and just.
Well, because we got smoked duck, we got veal meatballs. They sound good.
Yeah.
Now, John, you would love veal meatballs.
Yeah.
So
I do it's almost like an Italian Wiener Schnitzel. So I do veal meatballs. I do like a nice brown sauce. Sometimes a mushroom
that
cream
kiwa
sauce.
and chicken.
And then I put a
that
little
you
pickled
made.
red cabbage on top. Yeah, last time I was on
Oh,
the show,
that was sensational.
I did like a fried rice, but with quinoa. So it was a
delicious.
vegetable fried rice. Because I love Italian. I grew up on Italian. I specialize in Italian. But I also love Asian cooking too. So I do a lot of
Yeah, I see that. You got Asian
dishes.
salmon,
Yeah,
right,
the
red
seared
snapper, right.
tuna,
you got
the
Hawaii.
seared tuna or the ahi tuna. I'll do like a tuna tartare tower.
Right,
Which,
yeah, that's
also
on
if you go on my Instagram, I have tons of pictures of
What
food.
does
on it.
we
something
got-
like
yeah.
this cost?
So it starts with a dinner for two, which is $200 a person. So basically $400, and that's Monday through Thursday. So it's like going out to a nice fancy restaurant. You get the 4-course. I bring bread and a little cold antipasta for the table. Bring some sparkling and flat water, and we customize the whole menu. The dinner itself takes about 2 hours, and then the more people you add on, the price per person kind of comes down. So 2 to 4 people is one price. 5 to 10 people.
So it gets a little bit more per person pricing.
It's
the
all
more people
it's
you
all
have,
per
the
person.
cheaper
Yeah,
it is,
so
right?
11 or more people is going to be a lot less than just dinner for two.
Right.
And then I also do larger cocktail parties. Like I'm going to be doing some samples later. We'll do a cocktail party with 25, 50, 100 people with servers walking around with little platters, little canopies.
So one of the things that we see right in front of us, I don't know, Steve, if you can get a good shot on that. You have different sauces.
Yeah, so I have
That you
my
private
own liners
label
of hot
for.
sauce. I
Right.
love spicy.
Okay.
And how I got into that was one day I just made it, and I was just gonna get it. Almost, it's like a business card, So I was gonna get it. I go do a dinner. It's a calling card. It stays in someone's fridge or closet.
Kind
for a
of like
little
my
bit.
book. My book is like a business card, right?
A paperweight, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I originally just got it as kind of a calling card. I come, I do dinner, I leave it, and then it stays there. And then when I got the first one, I was so excited. I put a picture of it on Facebook.
Right.
And originally, I think I just got like 50 bottles just to.
And
Do you
got-
like
off.
hot sauce?
And I think by the end of
I'm
the
not
week,
a
they
big
were
hot
all
sauce
sold.
person, but
Story.
Michelle is. Right.
Chris is at our meeting. I'm sorry,
Right.
at our TV show. He offers Ty a taste
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
this
hot
one
sauce.
here.
Do
And it
you,
was really
do you
hot?
remember this?
This one.
She goes and she
very
tastes it.
Yeah, this one used to
Her
be like a
whole
little
face
dot.
broke out, completely red.
Wow.
Yeah, so
She-
these,
Well, this one- that
these
one
are
says warning
more-
hot,
Yeah, this
right?
one has a warning.
And
I don't know
that's
if you
the one
can
she took.
get in on that. If you could see the warning
got it,
label
yep.
on there. So these three here, this is your regular jalapeno.
Like
This is a
medium type.
cayenne, like a Frank's or a
Right.
Red Devil, stuff like that.
How do you
Much
come
better.
up with peach hot sauce?
So this one, it's like that like hot, savory, sweet. And it's almost it goes really well with chicken cutlets or
Right.
anything breaded. I make a killer peach mango salsa with that. So you would think, you know, peach and spicy, it doesn't go well, but it goes really well with like on fish or.
So do you use your obviously you use your hot sauces in a lot of your recipes?
Yeah, like sometimes I'll ask people too, you know, do you like spicy? Do you not like spicy? So certain things will be in the recipe. Like if I'm making, you know, today if you do the shrimp cocktail shooter, if you want to, you know, throw a little of this in there, it gives it a nice little punch.
Thing, right? Well, I'm gonna go by what you say. I want to give it a shot.
Yeah, yeah.
And try it out. But you also have a wine here too.
Yeah. So
how did that come about?
So I started with the hot sauces, and you know, a lot of times when I go do these dinners, I have clients that have ridiculous wine cellars, or they just, you know, like wine. And a lot of people say, do you do wine and food pairing? So one of my friends, Vincenzo, he has a winery in Hicksville where you can actually go and make your own wine.
Okay.
So you can do a barrel, you can get bottles. So but you basically go there. He'll get grapes from wherever you want in the world, and you know, so it's a true, you know, Malbec or a Napa or a Syrah.
Let me ask you, because I've done these where you've gone to a restaurant, you said, hey, I want to do the chef tasting, right? And that's where
And then they pair the wine with the food.
they come out with the different types of wines, and you know, they're coming out with little portions of meals.
Yeah.
Right? And when they come out, they put something in front of you. It's a little bit, but they come out with so many different versions of it, and they have a wine paired with each dish that comes
wine
out.
pairs very well with different foods. You know, reds go good with, you know, like beef or pork or duck, and you know, like whites go good with different things. So a lot of times with my dinners, I'll bring wine anyway, or they'll have wine, and I'll just, you know, they'll tell me, you know, these are the wines we're doing. You know, I'll kind of revolve the menu around that.
Right.
And sometimes I'll do like a 10-course tasting, where I have clients where every course literally has a different wine.
Different wine they want to try.
Like a couple of weeks ago, we were just doing Cabernets.
Okay.
And he had all these different Cabernets, and you know, I was doing like braised short rib and all different kinds of things that would go with Cabernet. And then in the beginnings, he was doing champagnes and then towards the end.
Typically, a 4-course meal, the plates aren't overflowing with food.
Right.
Now, we grew up as Italian kids, right?
Yeah.
And on Sundays, our plates were overflowing with food, with pasta and, you know, and stuff like that. But when you go to these finer restaurants, the portions are very small.
Very small, yeah.
You know,
when you're doing more courses, the portions get smaller and smaller. So like, you know, 4-course, as you can see these desserts here, you know, they're kind of portioned out individually.
Right.
And then, you know, when I do larger, sometimes 8, 10, 12 or more courses, things get small and small, because by the 8th or 9th course, they're like, wow, I'm so full. But, you know, it's maybe 1 or 2 bites of each thing. So with the 4-course, you know, we start with a hot or a cold appetizer. Well, actually, we start with the bread and the cold antipasta on the table.
Right.
Sometimes I make like a roasted eggplant or a fresh burrata or just assorted cheeses and olives and stuff. And I'm getting everybody hungry.
Yeah. I'm starting to get hungry here. So we're going to have.
So it starts with that, and then we start with either a hot or a cold appetizer.
Right.
Then we do a salad or a pasta course.
Right.
And then we do the entrees, and then we finish with dessert.
So how often is it just a party of 2?
I'd say like probably 2 or 3 a month.
2 or 3 a
on
month,
the dinner
really?
for twos, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, a lot of birthdays, anniversaries. Like I have a dinner next Thursday where it's a married couple. It's their 4-year anniversary, and they have a small child, you know, a newborn basically. And you know, sometimes it's harder to go out.
Yeah.
And so I kind of bring that restaurant experience into their home, and I just bring everything, and you know, they don't even have to set up, clean up, do anything. So it's a really cool experience. It's bringing that fine dining like into your home, which is.
Do you shop any place special?
I go to Restaurant Depot, and then a lot of times because Restaurant Depot, they have everything more bulkier, so it's better for the larger parties. But sometimes if I'm just doing a dinner for 2, sometimes I'll go to the supermarket, or I mean, I'm not a fan of the supermarket meats and fishes, so I'll a lot of times just get like a whole salmon and then keep some for myself. Or, you know, my family eats very good at home.
Right,
you know, like
I gotcha.
my fiance's mom was staying with us for a couple of weeks, so, you know, I did, probably while she was here, in the amount of 2 weeks, I probably had like 5 food shows, a a cooking competition, all these other things. So you know, we were eating really good at home, and I was like, I have some extra filet mignon that I don't need for tomorrow. So like, I'm practicing my beef Wellington. Do you want some? So, like,
well, let me ask you a question about that, because I live with a chef, right? Yeah. I told you this, and she will start cooking at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. We usually don't eat till almost 8:30 sometimes, you know, because everything's fresh, and you know, it's not any of the frozen stuff and all of that stuff.
Yeah, and it's all in the prep work.
It's all in the prep work, right?
Is what takes a long time. Yeah.
She'll put a plate on the table, and you look and go, wow, it's 2 or 3 things, and then you look over at the sink, because our deal is she cooks, I clean,
like this,
and it's piled high with pots and pans, and I'm sitting there going, why do I have to do all of this work for this?
You're eating it, don't you?
That's exactly it. But at the time, I never realized how much time it took.
Yeah.
You know, until you know.
And that's why, you know, the reasons why you go out to a restaurant, the reasons why things taste so good is because they're there working 8-hour day before dinner, and they're, you know, getting the sauces ready, they're getting all the, you know,
they're prepping.
Yeah,
they're doing all
just
that prep
making
work.
everything, and you know, when you cook things slow and low, that's the best way to do it. You know, I cook my sauces for at least 4 or 5, even more hours. So it's, you know, everything always low and slow is the key to everything good.
Do you freeze them?
Sauces. Sometimes I'll make like a tomato sauce at home. I'll make a nice big pot of sauce, and then I'll do the quart containers. I'll freeze it. A lot of times I'll do. Because sometimes I just don't feel like cooking at home. Like when you're cooking all day, like even like especially after a long weekend or a long week, and I'm doing a lot of dinners, it's funny because people always think like, oh, you must eat so good, but a lot of times, you know, I'll be working a 12-hour day and I'm cooking all day, and when I come home, the last thing I want to do is cook for myself. So you know, it's a lot of on the goes, or you know, a sandwich here and there, but you know, I always try to.
So I'm getting hungry.
Healthy.
Just talking.
What's your favorite meal?
I like simple. I mean, my favorite thing in the world is like chicken kebabs and rice. I can eat that every day.
I'm a cheeseburger guy, right?
Yeah.
So I get yelled at every year. You know, whoever's birthday it is, you know, we're gonna go out to eat.
Yeah.
That's always the big thing, right? We're gonna go out to eat. Guess where we go when it's my birthday? We go to the diner, and I get a cheeseburger.
Nice.
I just want to keep it simple.
Yeah.
You
Is that
know?
what we're gonna have for lunch
And then I get
tomorrow?
yelled at.
Cheeseburger?
We'll have a cheeseburger tomorrow.
Cheeseburger?
Yeah. Cheeseburger, yeah.
Cheeseburger.
I'm like, I can make gourmet 5-star meals, and like I don't really eat like that. I eat simple, like, you know, I'm happy with grilled chicken, but like I said, my favorite thing is I do like chicken with peppers and onions on a skewer, and just marinate it for a day, and I can eat that over rice every day. Like
So I know, Chris,
very simple.
you brought some stuff for us today that we can taste,
we're gonna
right?
eat some samples.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of a break here. We're going to get the stuff out. You're going to prep it for us, right? And you got some shots.
Okay, I'm ready.
Too.
Yeah, we're gonna do some shots, some virgin shots, but we're gonna
Some
do
virgin
some
shots. So we're going to.
Well, we could crack this wine open too if you want.
We can crack that wine open too.
Yeah.
So Chris, again, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, right? How can they get a hold of you to put on? And John, you got to do this for your wife, because your wife is too
do
good
it
to you,
anniversary, birthday.
right? Call
Any special
Chris
occasion,
up.
It's great.
get
Read the
him-
reviews and see what people are saying.
Get him into your house and let him cook for you, all right? Because I know you don't cook for your wife. You make her slave over the stove all the time. All right.
So yeah, again, the number, you could either call or text. It's 516-306-5411. And the email is chefchrislavecchia@gmail.com. And then the website is chefchrislavecchia.com, which has links to all my social medias. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google this, Google that.
Google that.
I'm pretty well branded on social media.
It's funny
so it's
because I posted some stuff on Facebook and that, and you like instantly jumped on it.
Yeah.
And you were reposting
like in this
it.
day and
liking
age,
it.
it's all social media.
Chris also
Everyone's
is
on,
involved with a
and-
number of charities, which we'll get into later on,
Right.
which we'll tell you all about.
Yeah,
He does some
and I
very
have some
special
events
stuff.
coming up, and we'll get all into that.
Okay. All right, so we're going to take a couple of minute break. Let's get set up here. All right.
Let's do it.
And we will be right back, everybody.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second half of the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man. We're here with Chef Chris LaVecchia. All right, thanks for being here, Chef.
Thank you for having me.
We got some great stuff coming up now. My favorite part of this particular show is going to be tasting these tasty treats that Chef Chris has put together for us. These are some of the things that he would serve at a cocktail party or these private dinners that we've been talking about, right? So tell us a little bit about what we see.
These are more examples of like a small cocktail party. People want to do, 40, 50, up to 100 or more. And, they want to do a bunch of different stuff. So we'll have, I'll bring servers, we'll have some platters, they'll walk around. These are little shrimp cocktail shooters, so it's basically like a shot. It's a cocktail shrimp, little tomato juice, some horseradish. It's basically like a Bloody Mary mix. So it's, you just drink it down like a shot. And then these, sometimes I do these in little phyllo cups. I do them on little ciabatta toast. Today I did, these are French baguette.
Can you get these, Steve?
So these are little French baguettes. I sliced it.
Right.
I roasted them with a little bit garlic and salt and pepper. And then this is fresh hand-whipped ricotta cheese. And then there's honey on top. And then little pink peppercorns. So these are just little, noshes that you could do in the beginning before, just to get your appetites going.
Try this. Oh, it's very good. Now, why the honey?
So with this, you have the creaminess, you have a little sweet, and it just goes so well. And then you have the peppery from the pink peppercorn, and then you get that crunchy.
Because you would never, like to me, I would never think to put ricotta and honey together, But I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah, sometimes things like you would never think, like chocolate and bacon, but it goes.
Those good. I got to try that because those are one of my two favorite things is chocolate and bacon.
Yeah, chocolate goes really well with bacon. The next time you have bacon, just dip it in some chocolate.
That's it.
You get that sweet, savory.
I got to do that now. So I got to melt a little chocolate and I got to dip my Sunday morning bacon on there. Yeah, this is good.
Or even one of my favorite things with breakfast, like pancakes, is the bacon in the syrup.
Right. I get you. No, it's fantastic. So, how do you come up with things like this?
Just sometimes just thinking outside the box, or thinking of normal, regular things, just making them smaller, making them fun size, party size. These, everybody loves shrimp cocktail.
Right.
But, you got to hold it, you got to dip it in the sauce. Sometimes your hands, smell.
And you got to get the little
with
tail.
This, I cook them, I peel all the shell off, and then I just make a...
Is this something that you saw somewhere else and you decided?
No, I kind of just put it together. Sometimes you just get these ideas. Like sometimes I'll do little chicken and waffle. So I'll have like little mini waffle cones.
Right.
Just put some fried chicken in there, or like popcorn chicken with a little syrup on top. So sometimes you see things somewhere else, you make it your own a little bit.
Right. I got you.
But,
I got you.
I travel a lot, so I'm always getting ideas from somewhere.
No, I'm gonna give this a shot. It's like a shot of cocktail sauce with a piece of shrimp in it. It's awesome.
And then if you want to try, this is the cayenne sauce. If you want to give that a little.
Put that right in here.
This one's my favorite. I probably go through about one of these bottles a week. Sometimes I'll open it and I'll put it on my food, and then it's like down to here.
Really? It's that much?
Yeah, I love hot sauce. When you first open it, it's a little harder to come out, and then as you go, see? This one isn't as spicy. So compared to like a Frank's, it's a little bit spicier than Frank's.
Okay.
Definitely a lot more flavorful.
All right. We'll give it a shot here.
This one's definitely like the death one. You can need
that's the one that Ty tried, right?
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's not too hot, but it's got enough of a zing in it.
It's more mild, but on the flavorful side.
Right,
so it's got that nice, that vinegary taste.
It leaves just enough hotness in it.
So then
where you can feel it, where you're not sitting there going,
Yeah,
I got to drink something.
Yeah, because I like spicy, but I don't want to sweat. And when I'm eating, like, you eat wings sometimes.
We've done those, right? You know, when people put wasabi and stuff, and people put wasabi in foods and other things like that, and they don't realize how hot that stuff can be.
That's why this one, you can just dip a toothpick in there. Sometimes I'll put a little tiny dot in like a whole.
Can I see that for a second?
Yeah.
Because, the warning is, this sauce is very hot. Use it at your own risk. Wow. Okay, so if it's telling you.
See, now there's some people that will eat that and like die. But then there's people that take that back and they're just like,
it's like you're a challenge. It's a challenge.
yeah.
Right?
Some people, I don't know if you know anything about Scoville units, but hot peppers are measured in Scoville units.
Okay, so what's a Scoville unit?
So a Scoville unit
educate our people.
Basically like how you measure the hotness. So you have, like Tabasco sauce is going to be somewhere around like a 7,000, right? And then it goes up to, 100,000, 500,000, a million. So, cayenne and jalapenos, they're more on the lower end of the totem pole.
Okay.
And then, you got your habaneros, which are up to, this one is 120,000 Scoville units.
Wow.
But that's not even high. They go up to, 500,000, a million. So you have, your ghost peppers, your Scotch bonnets, like all those are, are really, really high. So that's how you measure your spices in Scoville units.
So this you said is 120,000?
That's 120,000.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
this one's probably like maybe between 1,000 and 3,000. This one's not very spicy. Yeah, like Tabasco sauce is a little spicier than this. Is around like 7,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you have 120, you have 400, you have
400.
Yeah, they go up there. Like this one is.
So when you run into somebody who says, "Oh, I like things really spicy," but they don't know what spicy is.
Yeah.
Right. So how could you tell if this person's going to be able to handle?
Just by having a conversation with them, I can kind of get an idea. They're going to take this and they can eat a whole tablespoon of it, and they're going to be like, like it tastes good. It's all right. But then, some cultures too are just
have a lot of spices,
spice.
right?
Like a lot of Indian has a lot of crazy spices in it. So, some people will come up and I was at a show once and there was a woman there. She was like dumping this on her plate, and I was like, go easy with that, because I've also seen other people take a little. Little dot on the tip of their fork, and their mouth is on fire. So it's all everybody has a different threshold of peppers. But me personally, I like even when I was a kid and the grandmas put out the antipasto with the little pepperoncini. When I was little, that was really, really spicy to me. But now I can just take them out, and so you just get used to tolerance has built up. But I'm nowhere. I like these ones. These are more flavorful. But then. I started out with this one, and then I got the jalapeno, and then I started making this one, and then, a lot of people were saying, well, they're not hot enough, and, we need to, so I made these ones for, like, the really, really crazy spice level.
So how do you, you started with the cayenne because you knew the cayenne flavor and you liked that, but how do you come up with peach? That's
it was just one of those things where...
That seems like it's a weird hot sauce flavor.
So it's, do you want to try it?
Yeah, I'll try. Yeah, I'll try.
I have there's a tablespoon in there if you want, like a little plastic spoon.
Watch,
so
folks,
it's not crazy spicy. It's maybe a little bit spicier than the cayenne, but you have the sweetness. So this one, you taste the sweetness of it. Let me shake this up a little bit. So like I said, when you taste this, picture on a nice chicken cutlet.
Okay.
A nice chicken cutlet.
Picture on a nice chicken cutlet, but I'm not going to have the chicken cutlet to kind of offset the spice.
But picture how it would taste with a chicken cutlet.
Okay.
Or like a nice pork cutlet.
Okay.
It goes very well with salmon. So a lot of times I'll put on a menu, nice salmon with a peach mango salsa, and this.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So it's not crazy spicy, but
it's not. Yeah, but it's got a little bit of a zing.
You get a little hint of the zing, a little hint of the peach, and just a little bit.
That actually probably would be fantastic on a chicken cutlet.
Women like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you trying to say? Am I woman?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying because like the peach and whatever, but these three are definitely the most popular.
So how long have you had these, and where can people get them?
I had them available on the website, and then the shipping was just way too much. So I'm trying to figure out a way. I'm actually working on getting them on Amazon.
Okay.
So maybe over the next year or so, you'll have the free shipping.
We'll be able to get them on Amazon.
Yeah. So for
and if you got
now,
Amazon Prime, then you
so
can get
for
the free
now,
shipping.
a lot of places that I go, people are hooked on it.
I'm gonna have another one of these.
Yeah. Help yourself. So a lot of places that I go, I'll have people say, "Oh, you got hot sauce? You got hot sauce?" So I started leaving, cases of them in my car. And some places I go, I'll get rid of like 10, 20 bottles at a time. So, for now, I sell them direct.
Okay.
You get them from me because I do a lot of networking. I do a lot of trade shows and food shows. A lot of times if I'm at a fundraiser, like I'll just give them out. But for now, you can email me and see where I'll be. And,
All right, so if somebody wanted to buy some of your sauces, all right, your hot sauces and that, or even your wine, well, wine's different, right? Because you can't send that through the mail.
I can't technically sell this because I might get into a lot of trouble. But these are more a gift. Like, I'll go do a birthday dinner.
Right, you bring that as part of the package.
It's their anniversary. Oh, here's a special gift with my little, corkscrew. So
which thank you very much. I got a corkscrew today for.
Yeah, so
my Chef
these,
Chris
like I said,
corkscrew.
these are a lot of gifts too. Like sometimes I'll go do a dinner, I'll leave some of these behind because, like I said, they're going to stay there for a while. They're going to use it over the course of the next several months. So it's the brand is in their face,
So they can go to your website. They can send you an email, right?
Yeah. And then we could work some. I'll ship it to anywhere in the U.S.
Okay.
As long as.
And John, I'll leave you ship it to New Jersey.
Yeah.
So make sure you reach out to Chef Chris and you buy these sauces. You'll love these. These are absolutely, especially the one that's made for a woman. So. I love my cousin John, so he's always on that. So it sounds like you're creating a little enterprise here.
Yeah.
Right. You got hot sauces, you got wine, you got this executive chef or personal chef business going, which seems to be going really well, right?
Yes, it's really starting to pick up.
And it's one of those things. I do business coaching, executive coaching. I know you and I didn't have a lot of time to really talk today, but one of the things I always ask the guests is, what advice, would you give people that are just getting into the business
Of cooking?
Not even of cooking, but just creating your own company. Because you're
at the end of the day, you have to love what you do because you're gonna there's a saying. Entrepreneurs are willing to work 80 hours a week to avoid working 40 hours a week.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you really have to enjoy it because, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be a lot of stress. And, when you're going through a slow period, but you just have to really love what you do and just be good at it.
And you got to be out there, right?
And you always have to challenge yourself. You always, because whenever you get comfortable, that's when you kind of lose the craft and then you just stop caring a little bit. So I'm always challenging myself. I'm always doing food competitions, and it's fun.
So
me on my toes,
you got food competitions. We were talking about that before. You got some events coming up where people can come out and they can see how you prep things?
So I do one bridal show a month.
Okay.
Where I promote, and they're free. You can come. I actually have one next Monday at the Melville Marriott, right on Broad Hollow Road. It's free. You could sign up at LongIslandBridalExpo.com. And so I do one of those a month. And at the bridal shows, obviously I promote the small dinner parties, the date nights, the anniversaries. But then I also promote the engagement parties or the bridal shower, the rehearsal dinner. So it's, everything bridal related. And then next Tuesday, there's a thing called King of Queens, which I'm actually being awarded. It's the Schneps Communications.
Okay.
So they award there's going to be 49 people being honored. So I'm being named one of the King of Queens, which is actually pretty cool because that's where I grew up, and it's going to be at Roosters on the Bay, which is pretty cool because I grew up in Howard Beach and Woodhaven. So it's kind of coming back full circle because that's where that's where my story begins.
That's where your story begins, and you're being honored in the place.
I'm a kid from Queens. I grew up in Queens. Went to high school in Queens. My family moved out to Long Island after. They're still in Belmore. They still live there. Now I live in the island myself. I have my house in Hicksville, and it's fun. I'm just doing what I love and getting, every once in a while it's nice to get recognized for something.
Right.
And so be awarded. So it's nice.
And that's the thing and the key about being an entrepreneur and being in your own business is loving what you do, loving, and really bringing that passion out and showing people, because that's really where you get, you're great entrepreneurs and you're great people that, like you said, they'll work 80 hours a week so they don't have to work 40, right?
Yeah.
They'll do 80 hours a week.
And it's crazy. Like, I probably work 100+ hours a week, but when you're building a brand, it's like, it's not really work when you're having fun. Everywhere I go, I'm always having fun. I was out at the Melville Chamber of Business Expo last Thursday and just running into people, and we were just having fun. And, I was like barely slept the night before, was prepping food. I was there at like 7 a.m. to get set up and was working all day. And then I went and did something else, and it's just crazy hours. But once once those shows start, it's just, you're interacting with people, and it's
you love
fun.
their interaction.
I love interacting with people, and just, they're trying my food, and they, oh, this is so great. And, you're making someone's special occasion even special, especially with the...
well, you're seeing that you're bringing joy and you're bringing happiness to somebody's special occasion. So that's fantastic. So I can go to this bridal show and try some of your food, and even if I'm not getting married.
It's free for brides. I think you have to be a bride.
Okay.
But I don't know what the requirements are, but they are free shows. You get a lot of... newly engaged couples looking, there's all vendors, you have your florists and limo companies.
Do you get a lot of, in this day and age, do you get a lot of older couples that...
Mostly now, it's a lot of millennials getting married.
Right.
And, a lot of times people are just, nowadays more and more, they're paying for things themselves.
Right.
So sometimes, even having an engagement party at their parents' house and, just having... servers come and we'll do.
They're not having a big hall weddings.
No, they still do big hall weddings.
Right.
I do plenty of those on the entertainment side, but more and more people are just keeping it simple too. There's all, different levels. People are going all out. I've seen weddings where you have like half a tree sitting on the table on the centerpiece. Mm-hmm. And then, so there's all different budgets.
I had that big hall Italian wedding. This was back in the 80s. So before you even...
That was probably big with bands.
That was big with bands. And, I had the big pig. We had the big pig at the cocktail hour with the apple in the mouth and the whole bit, Those were the days when that stuff was going on. So, this is all fantastic stuff. If you had to choose... the perfect meal you would want to prepare, right? For, say, a small party of 10 people. What would your menu look like?
Well, I would say the more popular things on my menus is, the lobster risotto is very popular. People love it. I do a lot of stuff with filet mignon, different fish. As far as what I like to cook, I mean,
what do you
love
like
it all
to
because
cook?
what's fun for me is just creating the menu because the 4 courses I usually give them like 8 to 10 choices to choose from each topics. They'll fill out. We like sea bass, we like salmon, we like lobster, tuna, whatever. So the menus are pretty extensive, and I put some time in to like really get creative with it.
Right.
So those are my creations. So it's fun as it is. As far as like. What do I really love to cook? I mean, it's always fun.
You just love to cook.
Yeah, it's like
you love to make that fresh stuff.
Certain things. Like last weekend, I was doing beef Wellington.
Right.
Which it's not as popular anymore, but you kind of put like a new twist on things.
Right.
You just you wrap different stuff in there, and it's challenging because you gotta beef Wellington's a little tricky. You gotta sear it right and then bake it perfect.
Why is beef Wellington different than say filet mignon?
Well, beef Wellington it's wrapped in puff pastry, so you can wrap even more around. So you sear the filet off first,
right?
But then you could wrap stuff around it, crepes, and you could put chopped up mushrooms in there or asparagus, so you can get really crazy with it. You could wrap it with prosciutto, but ultimately beef Wellington, it has puff pastry on it. So I'm sure you've had puff pastry before. It's not then
like
beef Wellington. I mean, filet mignon. I do different things with that too. I'll sear it. I usually sear the whole loin and then serve it. So
well,
it's nice.
let me ask you that, right? You get people. They say, one of the things they always ask you when you go to a restaurant is, how do you like your meat? done, right? I'm a medium rare. I'm not even a medium rare. I'm a more of a rare.
I always tell people things are going to be medium rare, like lamb, duck, fillet, certain steaks. I usually do medium rare, but certain things I'll say sometimes people like it a little bit more so I'll give them the end piece, which is a little more.
Well, why what's the difference between obviously to me it's a lot drier. The more you cook it, the drier it becomes, right?
Yeah.
So, from a chef's perspective, when you're creating a dish like that, where do you like to see the meat? Where do you think
my
the
thing
perfect?
is the more expensive the cut of meat, the more red you want to see, because it's just it just cuts like butter. You don't want to.
It's like water.
You don't want to take a nice center cut filet mignon and then I want it well done.
Right.
But sometimes people, that's what they want. I've done dinners where dinner for 12, everyone had the filet mignon, and there's always one person that's like I want it a little more cooked, but that's before we go in there we figure all that out, so there's no sending your back. Really.
I gotcha. No,
everything's all completely customized.
Well, have you had those experiences where you've made something for somebody and they say,
and they were like, oh, I'm so sorry, like I didn't say anything, can I just have it a little more well cooked? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. It's
so you don't go back in the kitchen and spit on it, like
no. Sometimes at a restaurant, it's you're so crazy, you have so many orders coming in. Which, that's why I do the food competitions, because it keeps me on my toes with the speed and the technique and the skill. But what's cool about these dinners, it's more intimate. So everything is, there's only the one table. So it's the chef's table.
So if I hire you to come in and do a dinner, I don't have to worry about if I send something back.
Yeah, we're not going to.
You're not going to spit on it.
That will be waiting. Yeah, no, none of that. Yeah.
Drop it on the floor, put it back on the plate.
No, definitely not.
That's fantastic. So Chris, what do you have coming up? I mean, other than next week, do you have special events?
I mentioned what I have going on next week, and then on my website, I actually have a calendar of events that I'm going to be updating over the next week.
So one more time, let's let everybody know how they can get a hold of you.
So you have, everything's on the website, chefchrislavecchia.com. And then, there's links there. There's a contact page. You have my email, all my social media. And then the number is 516-306-5411. And the email is chefchrislavecchia@gmail.com. Okay. And then, there's Instagram. So if you like to see pictures, luckily with a business like mine where it's all visual, I have, you could check out my Instagram page, again, Chef Chris LaVecchia. Well,
even on your webpage.
On the website, there's a small gallery.
Took this off. Yeah, I took this stuff off your webpage. All great looking stuff. Makes me hungry. But Chris, I want to thank you for being on. Thank you for sharing your food with me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to eat some more of this stuff here.
Enjoy. Indulge.
And, I encourage everybody, reach out to Chris. If you got a party going on, even if you have a business, you got holidays coming up, you got a business where you want to do a party for your employees, anything like that, reach out to Chris, bring him in. He's a great chef. He does some really good things, and he's got some great hot sauces. So if you want some hot sauces, the wine's not for sale, but if you hire him for a party,
gift. So if you hire me for a birthday or an anniversary, I'll give you this as a gift.
There you go. There you go. All right. So thanks for joining us tonight, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate that. All right. All right, everybody. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Just quickly, for those of you, Norman wasn't feeling well, so he left a little bit early tonight. That's why you didn't see him in the second half of the show. But I want to mention a couple of things for him. If you want to get a hold of Norman, you can reach him at Friend Entertainment. All right, that's friendentusa.com, 631-698-9696. And on Facebook, it's Friend ENT USA. And he's got a couple of shows coming up, too. This Saturday, Tommy James and the Shondells, if you want to go to that show, I believe that show is in the Kirby Center, in Maryland. So he's got that coming up this Saturday. And then the following week on the 17th, he's got Fastlane, which is an Eagles cover band. And they do a great job, too. And I'll be speaking on December 5th. I'll be at the Miller Business Center. I'm going to be doing the business owner's roadmap, 7 steps to building a business that works. Come out and see me, and we can interact. And if you want to get a hold of me, you want to talk to me, you can reach me at cbms.co. All right, as we discussed last week, there's no M at the end. 631-721-4347, or on Facebook, CBMS Consulting. So I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week. Everybody have a great week, and good night, everybody.
Today's show is brought to you by Friend Entertainment USA, producing the best concerts for charities and corporations for over 30 years. And CBMS Consulting Services. Control your business before it controls you. In association with Area 22 Productions, your multimedia streaming network. If you're interested in being a guest on our show, visit our website at www.bphdmm.com for more information.